We have different gifts according to the grace given to each of us. If your gift is prophesying, then prophesy in accordance with your faith. If it is serving, then serve. But if it is teaching, then teach.
So the way we think about teaching here at UNC Wesley is based on feedback we've received from our students. Over the last couple of years, we've had many students tell us that they don't feel like they know enough of what's in the Bible. Over the last couple of years, as we've wrestled with these responses from students, we've really gone back to the drawing board and asked, how do we teach the fullness of the gospel? And we live that out in several different ways. One is in our weekly worship services. That's where we encounter the most students on a weekly basis. How do we make sure that our teaching there spans the fullness of the gospel? We do that on our retreats, where we ask our student leaders, what are students asking about? What are the big questions you're hearing? And what are those topics that we really need to dive into on a deeper level over the course of 3 days? A lot of that information we get out of our small groups, which meet weekly, to give our students a space where they can just work out putting the pieces of faith and life together. You know, in worship we'll present a big idea, but then it's small groups that they can really wrestle in, not just listening to a monologue, but actually engaged in a dialogue of how does this really affect our daily lives here as college students at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill.
I'm relatively new to my faith. Being a new Christian is definitely overwhelming at times, and I'm not entirely sure of the expectations or the standards of Christianity as of yet, but I know that the end goal is to make disciples of all nations, and Wesley's definitely kind of taught that to all of us moving forward.
I felt the Spirit leading me to UNC Wesley my first weekend on campus, actually. I knew during that first worship service that I felt God in that place, and I felt like I belonged there and that the people wanted me there and the community was really strong. I think that community was so vital in shaping me and helping me realize that the Spirit was also leading me here to Duke Divinity School. It was through affirmation and through opportunities to speak about God and to teach and to have mentorship opportunities that I really felt God calling me to Christian leadership. And when I came to Duke, I felt that same community and that same empowerment here.
And recently, because we've heard so many students ask for that broad-based biblical knowledge, we're developing a new small group that we're going to offer to all of our first-year students, but also offer a version for our upper-class students, which is an intentional 30-week overview of the Bible. 30 scriptures, 30 topics that we want every student in Wesley to wrestle with. Not to tell them exactly what to believe about each of those passages, but we believe that if they wrestle over these 30 topics, these 30 scriptures, they'll have a much fuller understanding of who God is, what God is like, what God's doing, and how they're called to be a part of that.